kids to careers and higher education in tech careers. And what this seminar is about engaging the kids that are normally disengaged at school, maybe a little introverted, maybe a little bit on the spectrum, or not involved with any other activities like traditional sports or drama, band, things like that. So our mission is to make Central New York a pillar for the gaming ecosystem by developing player skills, educational programs, and career opportunities within the gaming, creative, and STEM industries. So it's more than just gaming, right? It's more than just sitting down in front of a console playing a game. So if you're new to esports and gaming, don't call it e-gaming, call it esports, right? If you want to sound cool to the younger guys and girls, call it esports, don't call it e-gaming. If you take one thing away from this whole seminar, just remember that. So I'll give you a quick rundown of the gaming industry and the size of it. So, excuse me, gaming is just a generic term. It can cover everything from board games, card games, tabletop games, video games, of course, too. Esports is a category of the gaming ecosystem. Esports is competitive video games. So you have two teams or two players going head-to-head in a match or a game title that the outcome is either time-based or score-based or both. Very, very competitive. So it gives you this slide gives you an idea of the gaming industry as a whole. So the music industry and movie industries together add up to be about $60 billion. The gaming industry is triple that. So you know how big the movie and music industries are. Just imagine the gaming industry is triple that worldwide. The United States alone is $60 billion. So in the United States alone, it's as big as the global movie and music industries, just in the United States. So that tells you the size, scope, and scale of the gaming industry and how many people are interested and involved in the gaming industry worldwide. This is who the gamers are. 3.24 billion gamers worldwide, or nearly 40% of the world's population, identify as gamers. So there's pretty much no other activity that's as prolific around the world as gaming, except maybe breathing. So, and the number's only getting bigger year over year. More and more people are gaming, and gaming could be on your phone or on a PlayStation console or an Xbox or a PC. They have a lot of companies have handheld units now as well, so like mini PCs. So what's really cool is 80% of teenagers are gamers. So all the students you see roaming the halls in your school, 80% of them are gamers. And another really cool aspect is it's almost a 50-50 split between male and females. So that means people are interested in gaming across the board. Gaming is more than just gaming, playing video games. It's entertainment. It's morphed into an entertainment industry. There's all sorts of aspects of the gaming industry that lend itself to entertainment. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. You can watch gaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But what's cool about it is the amount of money gamers spend. So this goes back to that first slide. For every $1 spent at the box office, $6.43 is spent on gaming. So I don't know if anybody's seen the new Deadpool movie. They just announced that it set all records by breaking $1 billion. So in the last month, since Deadpool's been out, the movie industry, that particular movie's made $1 million. The gaming industry has made $6.74 billion. Just to put it in perspective. It's pretty crazy. And what's cool about gaming, to back up a little bit, what's cool about gaming, it's not just passive entertainment, it's interactive entertainment, and that's the appealing part. I mean, when you're in the movie theater, the only thing you're interacting with is your popcorn bucket and your soda, right? When you're gaming, you're interacting with the game. A lot of games have stories behind them, so it gives you that feedback that a lot of people enjoy. Well, 40% of the world's population enjoy. Gaming is another reason why it's popular. Gaming is all inclusive. Anybody can do it, no matter any disabilities you have, physical disabilities. There's a way for you to game. And again, it's interactive entertainment, makes you feel good, and bonus, it's fun. And if anybody has any questions, you can stop me, and we got a small enough group. So this is the cool part, connecting kids that are normally disengaged at school. So this is a really important statistic right here. This is what this seminar is about. 80% of the students who sign up for esports program have never participated in a school activity before. So we're reaching the kids that aren't athletes, that aren't in band, that aren't in drama, or any of the other clubs. They're just kind of floating around during the day, going to their classes, doing their thing, but they're a little bit disengaged with school as a whole. Absenteeism is a big problem with this group, right? So esports engages those students that are kind of on the fringes, kind of square peg, round hole kids. They're having a tough time fitting in. Quick story, I have two older boys. One was a traditional sports kid, did soccer and lacrosse, had great experiences, had a friend group, participated for 4 years in that, learned a lot of really good things, a lot of intersocial skills, people skills, time management, all that sort of stuff, being coachable. My older son, Asperger's, he had a hard time fitting in. He found marching band, and his whole high school experience changed from there on out. He found his tribe, found his people, had people to interact with every day, and that's what esports does. And that's the 80%, those kids that are normally disengaged from school. He's there? Okay, great. So I'll go over these next two slides real quick. Then I have a gentleman, he's calling in from Dallas, Texas, Danny Martin, doing wonderful things down in Dallas, Texas. I can't wait for you to hear his story, what he's doing down there with students. So gaming stereotypes versus reality. A lot of students, they want to be a content creator, professional esports player, or a lot of parents think the kids are going to be lazy and unhealthy, right? So to be a content creator or a professional esports player, make a lot of money, that's like 1%. 1% of the people in reality, just like a professional sports player, that's 1%. So it's not likely that you're going to be able to make it to that level. There are avenues, and you can do it if you work hard, just like any pro athlete. But what we tell parents is that being involved with something at school, whether it's traditional sports or esports or anything else, it gives your son or daughter a great opportunity to have a better high school experience and a better college experience. And esports is just another way to do that. You know, gaming has a lot of negative connotations, this being one of them. And what we teach here is everything in moderation. You know, you shouldn't be gaming 12 hours a day. You shouldn't be on a treadmill 12 hours a day, right? Everything in moderation. And then the reality of it, social connections, you connect with students at school that may not be connected normally. Mental health, that's a huge problem in schools today. Student engagement, it increases student engagement, attendance. Just a quick story, we had 150 students here over the summertime from Syracuse City Schools. Thad was here for that. We had about, in John back there, we had about 95, a little bit more than 95% attendance rate for 5 weeks. That's pretty unheard of in any school district, especially Syracuse City Schools. Scholarships are available now for students. Syracuse University has curriculum now. They just launched today, right? Classes started today up at Syracuse University for their esports communication management program. And they're actively looking for players to play on their teams. Career opportunities and recognition and achievement, those are all very important things for students to be engaged at school. So, Ben, are we ready? There he is. Hey, Danny. Oh, hang on, we're gotta get the audio on.
Hey, hey, it should be there.
Yep, we got you now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
How's things in
So,
Dallas?
man, it's been crazy. School has started here, so ultimately, like we're just prepping and working with our independent school districts to get them to the building, do field trips, and provide project-based learning experiences.
Awesome. Well, I will let you go and do your thing. Go right ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so supremely thankful for even being here. You guys are doing such an amazing job in regards to bringing esports gaming to the forefront, specifically in for that of educators in the state of New York. So it's awesome to be able to see. So I just want to make sure you guys have your flowers because it's super super inspiring. Um, Let me see. Where do I even start? Let me just start with my start. For me, getting in the industry. Well, we'll start with the video. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to focus in on that particular video here at Exposure Inc. We really are focused in on project-based experiences, immersive experiences. There are curriculums out there in regards to esports from the marketing and management and communications perspective, like what was just mentioned in regards to at Syracuse, which is really awesome. For us, it's how do we equip the students with the skill sets that's needed in order for them to obtain jobs. A lot of us within the actual esports and gaming industry started in a time where our parents were like, "It's cool and all, you're playing games, but are you going to make money from it?" And ultimately, from us, it's about how we can actually equip the students in the next generation, and the next generations. I think one of the biggest dynamics for us, like even growing up in the southern part of Dallas, it was always like, we play sports. We were always coached to like be sports, go to be a professional athlete or artist. And the gaming side was not even a thing for our parents or our educators to speak on as an opportunity to be beneficial to the actual world. It wasn't until college that I identified a great opportunity for hosting tournaments on campus. For typically, students would play games in their off time, in between classes, just to mingle with their friends, or just to even decompress. And as I started to identify opportunities to bring individuals together to build a community, running tournaments was that opportunity. You can easily create a flyer, put it onto the campus, and set it up at the campus. And ultimately, individuals will show up on the day to play FIFA or in this case now FC. They will play League of Legends. It's just so awesome to be able to see individuals come together, play games, but most importantly, in between those matches, they're talking about life. They're supporting each other. It's just a huge community. And ultimately, identifying when you're running those events, you quickly identify that there's a lot of skill sets that are needed to perform an especially in the venue that you're in right now. This was the opportunity to be able to, see all the lights in the broadcast and, the setup of the equipment. All of those are skill sets that your students can learn today. and it aligns with all the different career pathways with the way your actual is structured. So you have, uh, you have hard on the first side of life. And so all of line with the way that students are willing to engage with, and ultimately making sure that as educators, you guys and ladies are prepping them to be beneficial to the world. And so ultimately, after doing all of those actual tournaments, as an organization, we said, man, this is a great way to, shine light on the educational side of esports and gaming because the actual industry is growing. Every day, there is individuals out there that are learning about the opportunities in esports and gaming. So it's growing. There was a lot of stats that were provided just a minute ago before I hopped on, which is supremely beneficial for you guys to take notice of that. Since being in this industry has grown 2x when it comes down to the instances of college offering scholarships, to the instances of prize purses being offered. But most importantly, as the actual industry grows, there are more career opportunities that are out there. So what you've seen in the actual video is an opportunity for us to expose those careers to the actual students through via that of career exploration. So it's pretty cool. So one of the things that we identified is when students come in, we give them an opportunity to. I don't know if anybody here has participated in a live draft. If you have, that's awesome. But likelihood is no, you probably watched it on TV, like the NBA or the NFL draft or any other draft with any professional leagues. Well, what we've done is we've allowed the students to participate in that actual draft as the executives. In which, when you're watching the draft, you see the teams that are in the boardrooms making those critical decisions. What you've seen in the actual video is these students being able to simulate what it's like to run an esports team. You guys have seen teams like Optic and so many other actual teams that I mentioned in the actual video. But for the students now, they get to assume those actual roles. And so now, as an opportunity, the students get a chance to say, all right, I am an esports team, let's say 100 Thieves. Now, I'm now presented with challenges that esports teams face on a daily basis. For example, you guys are in a facility right now. If there was an esports tournament that was going on right now, which you guys are going to experience the league with Vanta, which is super, super awesome. If the actual Wi-Fi was turned off by any chance and there was no way to be able to communicate from a technological perspective, that will be a challenge that the students have to face, and they have to identify the specific role that would actually help that actual tournament, which is really cool. So the students get a chance to pick one out of the three challenges, and at that point they get an actual database of all the roles, over 250 different roles, and they have to pick that perfect role for that actual challenge. And if they pick it right, they get an X amount of points. If they pick it close or pick a role close to that, they get a certain amount of points. That's lower than the right pick. And if they're nowhere close, they get even less points. And at the point of them selecting that actual role, the actual commissioner comes out in our facility and they announce that actual role. And on the actual leaderboards, you can see the points that they actually have accumulated. And then the next team is on the clock. So now the commissioner gets a chance to be able to say that next team could be Optic Gaming, which is based out of here. They can say, hey, Optic Gaming, you're now on the clock. And now the students have to figure out the different roles that are available now, because after that role was selected from the previous team, that role is no more available. And so now the two students have to be able to identify what they have in their actual database now, and they have to pick the challenges that will best fit so they can get the most amount of points. After all the rounds are actually completed, the teams with the most points are seeded in an actual esports tournament. So we've made the actual executive side more fun, so therefore they can actually be seated in a good spot so they can play games like Rocket League and League of Legends and NBA 2K and so many other games that we choose to provide at that time. But what this does is it aligns with the actual career pathways for the educators. So for us, we work with over 19 independent school districts across Texas, Dallas ISD being the largest. They currently have approximately around about 180,000 students, and we work with about 100,000 of those students any given day. So the way this specifically like Dallas ISD works is they book field trips all throughout the school year. So we have approximately about 40 field trips with this particular district, and they experience the Discover Live experience from 10 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. here, and they get bussed in, they go through the experience, and then and it's up to like 50 students, and then ultimately the school district schedules out every Tuesday and Thursday for the school year. So it's a really cool experience to be able to allow the students. And for that, when the students get through the actual program, the schools actually have programming through their curriculum that the students engage with. What that does for us as a benefit is we get the students go through a practicum, and when they get to the actual practicum, they actually are able to come to Exposure to work their particular event. So those same students that have actively engaged with the Discover Live, they now get a chance to come and actually facilitate the field trips for the other students at the other districts or even Dallas ISD. So this opportunity gives us about 15 to 30 students within actual Dallas ISD or other districts to go through the practicum, and we allow them to work the AV, lighting, the production. You guys are seeing the production through vMix right now, so the students get a chance to learn vMix. Also, the actual students get a chance to. Also, the students get a chance to engage with that of the tournament facilitation. They get a chance to be able to engage with that of the marketing and the branding of the event. So it's a huge opportunity for the students to get experiential opportunities, so therefore they can build on their actual portfolios. And then at that point, it allows us, it makes it easier for us to work with the companies to help them get jobs in the industries. We work with companies like Lenovo, Boeing, McDonald's, also other esports pro teams that the students get the chance to work for. So at the end of the day, it's a huge opportunity for the students to be able to get exposed. And if they do not go to a job, it's a plethora of schools now that are offering scholarships for esports. I always like to talk to students and educators about 3 years ago, there were literally about like 20 to 25 colleges that offered esports scholarships. Now there's well over 700 schools that offer esports scholarships and esports programming. So every year it's making it easier and easier to expose those opportunities to the students. And so that's one of the biggest benefits that we provide to the actual educators in the Texas region. And the same thing is being done in states by organizations just like Elite Gaming. So just ultimately just showcasing the value that the industry provides, and not only just for students to go into the esports and gaming industry, but ultimately be able to leverage these skill sets to be able to go into any industry. For an example, like working with Boeing, Boeing approached us and said, "Hey, our pilot pipeline is depleting because most of the pilots right now are retiring." And exposing the actual students to that of the simulation machines that they have, it can be pretty frightening to get into a simulation machine, and it's a lot of buttons, and you don't know what's transpiring. Exposing the students early on to Microsoft Flight Simulator, where it's a lot easier. You can use the controller or a yoke system. Running programming around that allows it to be easier for us to guide the students to that those intense simulations, so therefore they can get their pilot license and ultimately become a pilot. And so companies are looking at this opportunity in the gaming and esports industry to expose those career opportunities in different industries, which is awesome to be able to see. And what we see a lot is the opportunity to showcase the inclusivity that esports and gaming can provide, which as an African American male, a lot of these opportunities are not provided to, like I stated at the beginning, for us, it's like sports, artistry, music, that's what we see that we feel as if like that can be attainable. But ultimately, esports and gaming get a chance to be able to tackle the artsy side and also the ability to be provided jobs that are around contracted. Like most of our team are contractor based because we have so many events, so it's easy for us to be able to engage with that of these students to say, hey, for this particular event, we can pay up to $30 per hour, anywhere from $10 to $30 per hour. And so for them, it's like a great opportunity to do a job and then go do ultimate other jobs or schoolwork or whatever it may be. But it keeps them flexible and it makes it easier for us as an organization to manage all of those because the skill sets are attainable in fairly a good amount of time. When I say time, it can be anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to obtain a skill set like Adobe Photoshop or understanding vMix or any other software that you would leverage in order to complete an esports tournament or event. So this is a great opportunity to expose individuals that may not have the opportunities to having a skill set that can make them employable. And so ultimately, another thing is that we see right now in the actual space is the social emotional and the well-being element that is incredibly important. A lot of students need an outlet, and so ultimately being able to provide gaming to your actual students gives the opportunity to one be a part of the community, share information that they typically wouldn't expose to their parents or such. So it gives them an opportunity to have an outlet, which is important. Another element that is very critical to that of esports and gaming is the ability to communicate. I have so many parents that reach out to us and ask and say, "Hey, how can I communicate better? How can I establish that rapport with my child?" And it's really a good opportunity to play games with your students or your child, due to the fact that you'll find that students open up a little bit more when you are interested in the things that they're interested in for. So now you can be able to talk to them about, the ability to communicate financial respect. If they're having disciplinary issues, this is a good opportunity to talk to them about that disciplinary instance that transpired, but through a medium that they feel comfortable sharing the insights with. So team building, these are great when it comes down to introducing the actual students because they're going to have to team build while they're in an organization. So ultimately, so giving them that perspective is something that's supremely important as well. But as I stated, skill development is one of the top things that you're providing that of students when it comes down to engaging with programming. The curriculum is dope, but also just making sure that you are putting them in the environment where they're using their hands to, or their mind to really solve complex problems. So therefore, they can ultimately leave with the perspective of, I have the skills, I have the confidence to be able to do things in the world, and that's one of the biggest jobs that you guys have as educators. And we share that so much when it comes down to the students coming into our facility, in which we're in right now, just like what you're experiencing there. So you guys got a supremely good opportunity to see what it's like for the students to engage with esports and gaming. And so I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, but ultimately that's the benefit.
All right. Any questions at all? He went over a lot of material, really good material. So just a quick background. We met Danny probably about 3 years ago now at an educational conference. Yep. And we heard all about the great things he was doing down there in Dallas. And we went down and actually paid him a visit and talked to him quite extensively. And we loved his passion, his dedication to the students. And we pretty much modeled our startup after Danny, what he was doing down there. So he was really kind of a mentor for us up here to start what we're doing here. And we realized, talking to Danny, there's a huge gap in the education, connecting education to, with the disconnected children, to career paths, to higher ed and career paths. So thank you, Danny, for everything. I don't think we have any questions from anybody here, but thank you for the great presentation and kind of putting things in relatable terms for everybody here, and so they can understand what the potential is for students once they're engaged at school.
Absolutely. Super. And if anybody want to connect via LinkedIn. I have no problem answering questions. But you guys got some really cool individuals right in front of you that can definitely guide you in the right path.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. Have a great day down in Dallas.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, cool. All right, that was a lot of information real quick at you, but now really excited to introduce somebody from Syracuse University. Megan is from Syracuse University. She's part of their esports team up there that they're, actually I shouldn't say team, their esports management, I guess, because they have esports teams, but Syracuse University invested millions and millions of dollars in the esports ecosystem. They have competitive teams. They also started a 4-year degree, which launched literally today, was the first day of classes. So I won't get into it too much. I'll let her explain how SU is engaging students, some of the pathways for students that maybe want to pursue esports as a career and maybe play collegiate esports. So here's Megan.
Hi, everybody. I know we got a small crowd today, so I like to keep it a little bit cozy. I'm actually not going to walk all the way up here. I'm going to walk down and be amongst the people. But hi, my name is Meg Danaher. I actually started my career in esports in a very odd way. So when I was in school, my alma mater is a little place called Full Sail University. If you look them up, if you just Google esports Full Sail, that's the first thing you'll see. They've kind of gone full bore into it. But when I went to Full Sail as a student, I went initially for creative writing. I mean, here I am now. I'm at Syracuse University doing esports. So how did that happen? So at Full Sail at the time, that was 2018 when I was in college and first started in school, they had a esports program. And they played one of my favorite games. And I was like, well, I am from Georgia. The school's in Florida. I'm looking to find community, and I'm looking to find my people. So let me try out for a team. And then it was all history after that. The school had lots of really great hands-on learning opportunities to actually get the students involved, to start working with larger companies that they were bringing in to host events at the space. And so through that and all the different volunteer opportunities that I got to have, it really stoked my passion to want to do esports. And then from there, when I graduated, I got my master's in sports management from Full Sail. Focus on esports was my kind of master's thesis. I then went to a little-known school called Viterbo University up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So I'm from Georgia, moved to Wisconsin, then I went to Butler University in Indianapolis, and now I am here at Syracuse. So I've been a little bit of everywhere, and at each of those different places, I was a head esports coach, I was a senior esports coordinator, and now I'm the assistant director of esports at Syracuse. So to kind of talk a little bit about the education portion, as that's kind of like the big highlight here, at Syracuse, the 4-year program, I actually have 2 students here. One is going to be a part of the program, and one is currently in the program. So we have some students that can also give you some insights as to what they're excited about and being a part of the program. It's a 4-year track with basically, it's doing all the things in sports management, but through the esports lens. So we want to get the students really hands-on and get really great hands-on learning experiences. So for instance, coming up, they're going to be going to Berlin to work with Riot Games at the semifinals for League of Legends. And that's coming up in October. So we're getting really close to it, but we want to create those relationships in the industry as Syracuse and the esports program with larger companies across the globe as much as we can to get our students really hands-on. So we want to get them the principles of leadership, communication, all those different things, but all through that esports lens. So we want to also make sure that we're not just teaching esports. Because again, esports is a niche industry. It is growing, but it's still pretty niche. So it's learning all those sports management things through the esports lens. So essentially that just says, you get to learn it in a way that's really palatable to you, but you can still get a job working for a hockey team. You can still get a job working with ESPN, etc. We also have really great working opportunities as well on campus, so students can work as something as simple as reception all the way to getting, again, more of that hands-on work-study experience doing like photography, graphic design, broadcast, etc. All right, does anyone have any questions? Because I've been kind of just ranting for a minute. I know, I got a lot of, I can keep going. Trying to think of anything else. Yes? Yes, so for our varsity side, we have Valorant, CSGO, Call of Duty, Super Smash Brothers, Overwatch, and Rocket League. I did it. That's all 6. I always miss one, but today I was good. I got 6. So those are our teams that we have right now. So you may have seen on social media if you follow us, we did sign a Rocket League player this past spring. They have a 4-year scholarship. For every single year, they're going to get it re-up on their scholarship for Rocket League. So we do have scholarship opportunities on campus, but one of our big things is, again, trying to get that academic major up and running. Because, again, we want to create cool learning experiences for students to learn everything that they need to know for both management, production, etc. for esports. But, again, it's through that esports lens so you can get a job anywhere. I'm going to pass the mic off to the students really quick because if we don't have questions, I would love to give their perspectives. I'm going to give it to Bree first. Introduce yourself, and you can talk about your experiences with the program.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bree. I am the content director for the Gaming and Esports Club at Syracuse University. I am a junior, and I am in the new eSport Communication and Management program. So that will be my degree. I was previously a sport management major, so it is very similar. I can tell it from my experience because it is now a joint program dual with Falk and Newhouse. So now I get to learn more about the production side when I already have a bit of a sport background. So what we do with the club, because I'm sure that's what you're most interested in, is we give all of our students an opportunity to be in the room, to do what they want to do, and to be fantastic academically. So let's say someone wants to do photography. Hey, we have the club playing on Tuesday Overwatch from 7 to 10. I want you to take pictures during it, and we're going to post it on social media. So now they get a bunch of tangible skills. They get to learn real-world experience, and they get to have fun because it's great to be in the room. It's great to be in all of our spaces that we are creating and will further create since some are still in the building process. Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk as well. Again, I just wanted to get the students to be able to get their perspectives as well.
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a sophomore at Syracuse University. I will be trying my best. I will be in the major for spring semester, but currently my degree is Communications and Rhetorical Studies in the VPA of Syracuse. My esports journey is kind of weird because I started getting into esports through my brother, and that's how I contacted Joey, the head director of esports, who's currently in Syracuse University. But I am currently working as a receptionist in our school's esports room, and what some of the experience that I've had is, for example, I have been in Kentucky with Bree as well, and we had this whole conference with Gen G. If you probably know them if you're huge into esports. I have met with so many different people, and I will also be going to Berlin, hopefully, with Bree to work with Riot for, Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really exciting opportunity. I'm really jealous because I really wish I could be going as well. And they also touched on we do have new facilities being made. So right now we have our Barnes facility that is 5 years old. But as of this coming spring, we're going to have our grand opening for our Shine facility, which that's actually going to be open to the public. So if you have students that are interested in video games, period, feel free to invite them over to come to our campus because it is free to enter. So it's the student, what's it called? Student Life Building, the main one on campus. That's where that one's going to be. And in the next 2 to 3 years within the Marley, which used to be the old nursing school, we're actually going to have our esports amphitheater auditorium for actual competitions and stuff like that. Any other questions for me? I can also give you guys my contact, so feel free to see me after. I actually started at Syracuse June 24th, so I'm pretty new. I'm getting my bearings. And again, so what I do for Syracuse, I should probably also have said that as well. What I do for Syracuse is I'm most of the facility management as well as the student experience side. So I work with the club and all the different activations that other clubs on campus is of. If Greek Life wanted to utilize our space, we could also collaborate with them so we can get as many people on campus gaming as possible. All right, and with that being said, I think that's everything for us. And feel free to see me after if you want my contact or questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any questions on anything we covered? We threw a lot at you. I hope you learned, walk away with a little bit better understanding of what esports is and gaming industry, and there's a lot more to it than just mashing buttons, right? There's huge career opportunities and great potential for students to get involved with something that they might not be involved with before. Engaging students is key. That's critical to their success. So esports is just another way to do that. We have flyers up at the front desk there. So we have our New York State Esports League, high school esports league. We also have middle school starting this fall in September when the kids go back. So there's flyers up there for that. We have our game titles, our match schedules, and also we're doing field trips over the school year too. So if you have students that are interested coming down here for 3-4 hours during the school year, we can do some really great educational / fun things with them. So I guess that's it. Everybody can go home and enjoy the day. Thanks for coming.